for tuning back in. This your boy, Pelican Bay Kennels, giving you that dog news the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit that like button before you get up out of here. Check the video out. Hit the comments up before you get up out of here. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to let them know what video is dropping. Let's get into that dog news. Big thanks to everybody who's been commenting on all the videos over the last, couple weeks. Shout out to everybody who's been commenting with the videos on Facebook. Even though I don't get a chance to, like I told you before, to check all the comments back and forth. Shout out to all y'all too, man. Shout out to all my bulldoggers, like I always say, up north, down south, out west, and on the east, or whatever. Today we talking about more prepotent bulldogs from the past, males and females that put their genes down, and their genes pretty much took over generation after generation. Pretty much took over. So we're gonna talk some more about that. We're gonna talk some more about different things about breeding, because like they always say, it's more than one way to skin a cat. But I'm quite sure, most dog men know, dog women know. You gotta be real selective who you buy your dogs from, for the fact of it's easier to get that dog, to get that bloodline on that peg than it is to get that real bloodline in real life. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah, you might get this, it might say that, but it's a chance that it might not be that. So you really gotta, just know who you're dealing with, because there's a lot of good people out there, there's a lot of bad people out there. And there's a lot of people trying to learn in the process, and a lot of people that'll take advantage of you. And everybody know this. One dog that's not really off of what they say he's off of, one dog that has been paper peddled, just make an example, just say if it came from the dog pound, good dog. Right now, most dog pound dogs getting neutered and stuff like that, but just say it came from the dog pound, back in the 90s, they weren't doing that. Came from the dog pound, put papers on them. That one dog can change the whole dynamics of a whole generation of dogs. Even if it's, he only got a small amount of offspring, but his offspring got a boatload of offspring spread out across the country. And it's supposed to be, just say if it's supposed to be a Pujol dog or a Jeep dog, and this is a red boy dog, and his offspring spread out all across the country. And the papers say this, like I say, one unhonest dog man can change the dynamics of what everybody really got. So just do a lot of selective, same way you do selective breeding, you do your selective who you dealing with your dogs or whatever. Now the first dog we talking about on our prepotent dog list for the day is Miss Pujol Red. Miss Pujol Red was purchased by Dr. Kimsey Woods as a young dog by Jerry Holcomb. Now Jerry thought Miss Pujol Red was one of the best dogs he had ever seen, let alone one of the best dogs he ever owned. He called her Red, and she wasn't really fond of strangers. She was a real muscular dog. Her eyes were, she had big round eyes. They sat kind of far apart, And from what I hear, she had a head that would make male dogs jealous. Miss Pujol Red was a one-man dog, but she was well-mannered. She was only bred, limited times. She ain't bred that many times, but she did produce a whole, great dogs in the limited time she did breed. Now, Miss Pujol Red was a result of a line breeding. Both parents were down off of Carver's Miss Spike, sired by Carver's Ironhead and Carver's Pistol. Next on the list, we got Kate's Niggerino. Niggerino was one of the foundation dogs on for the Kate's bloodline. Now Niggerino was bred by A.W. Rollins from Amarillo, Texas, but he was later acquired by Sam Cates, him and his little mate sister Bolita, as a young puppy. Niggerino was a tall red dog with a black mask, great soundness, and very athletic. Now when people start seeing how Niggerino was looking, unfortunately, him and his sister Bolita was stolen. But it wouldn't be much time later. Mr. Cates saw Niggerino on another Texas dog man yard, so he reclaimed him. You know, he reclaimed him, and later somebody else returned the puppies. You know, he got the puppies back and he got Niggerino back, but he never got Bolito back or Bolita back. Now there's a lot of Niggerino fans out there, and some say, especially the ones who, you know, saw Niggerino in person, that, you know, he was one of the purest Eli bred dogs out there. And, you know, I learned something kind of new, because shit, I really didn't know that Niggerino, you know, line was like Eli dogs or whatever. So, you know, doing a little study, I figured it out. So I learned something new today. Our next dog up on the list is Elliott 6-bit. Elliott 6-bit was bred by Mr. J.D. Elliott and sold to Mr. Jerry Clemens. Now, Mr. Clemens used 6-bit as a stud, you know, and added it to his program of proven dogs. And he felt like 6-bit is one of the greatest dogs he ever saw. Now, if you can't see it or y'all recognizing something, a lot of dog men feel like certain dogs were the greatest dogs they ever saw. You know, everybody starting to seem like the dogs that they had around their yards were the greatest dogs they ever saw. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be out of you to say your dog is the greatest dog you ever saw. You know, because shit, it's starting to look like, I mean, a lot of these guys were hanging together, but how can this dog be the greatest dog you ever saw, and this dog the greatest dog you ever saw, and both of y'all hang together, or both of y'all know each other? One of them ain't the greatest. He up there, but he ain't. Now, Elliott 6-bit was down off Elliott's Ethan. Ethan was down off Elliott's Magic. All right. Now, Elliott's Ethan was the result of an inbred father to daughter coming down off Caldwell's Country Boy. Now, Caldwell's Country Boy was sired by Pujol's Booze and grandsired by Bully Son. Now, Elliott's Magic was the result of a line breeding where both grandparents were Pujol's Booze. I think that's how you pronounce it. Both grandparents were Pujol's Booze, and the total genetic makeup of Pujol's Booze and 6-bit 7th generation pedigree is 52%. Right here is a list of prepotent dogs throughout history and the way they was bred. First we have Tudor's Dabo, he was line bred. Bully Son, Eli Jr. and Clemens Brendy, line bred. Red Boy was inbred, Frisco was inbred, Bolio was line bred, and Honey Bunch was line bred. Tombstone was Outcross. Zebo was inbred and line bred, and Hammond's Rufus was line bred. Pujol's Maverick and Cottenham Redman were both line bred dogs. Caldwell's Boogeyman was an Outcross, and Grand Champion Yellow was a loosely line bred. STP Buck line bred, Garrett's Tab Outcross, and St. Benedict's Bailey line bred. Al's Brute was line bred, Rodriguez Gator was line bred, and Midnight Cowboy was loosely line bred. Ball's Dirty Mary was Outcross, Miss Pujol Red was line bred, and 357 inbred. 70 Arab Boomer line bred, and White's Blackjack line bred. And you know, that's just the way, you know, some of these dogs are bred. If you know, it could help you in your program. You know, a lot of people like to look to see their favorite dog and the way it was bred, and you know, hopefully we can produce that same sauce. You know, that's what every dog man hoping. You know, so that's some prepotent dogs from the past. Big shouts out to all the Bulldogs with the Bulldog channels. Too many of y'all to name. Big shouts out to the Bully Gang. Big shouts out to the Pocket Gang, Game Dog Gang. You know, shout out to everybody out there. Take care of them dogs, love them dogs the right way, like I always tell you. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button before you get up out of here. Hit that notification bell. Let them know a video just dropped. It's done now. You know, y'all stay safe out there, and remember, we do not condone anything illegal. Stay safe out there. Stay legal out there with your dog. You know, keep your dog healthy. Y'all have a great day.